Hey friends, let's keep working on rounding decimals. So for this first set of problems, we're going to round each number to the place of the underlined digits. I'm going to go ahead and highlight these underlined digits. If you're not confident about what place each of these is, then I suggest you get our old friend, the place value chart out and use that to help you. So for number 1, we're going to round 32 and 60 hundredths to the nearest tenths place. This is the tenths place. In order to do that, I need to decide if 32 and 60 hundredths is closer to 32 and 6 tenths, or if it's close to 32 and 7 tenths. Now this one is easy because, of course, the digit that I used to help me round, the hundredths place, here is a 0, which means that this number here is located exactly at 32 and 6 tenths. Those are equivalent numbers. 32 and 6 tenths is the same thing as 32 and 60 hundredths. So that one was easy. Number 2, we're going to round 489,000. Oh wait, no, I misread that. Oh gosh, I need to make this a little bit bigger for myself. All right, so we have 489,334,209, and this is a whole number. We're going to round it to the nearest millions place. Okay, so that means when you round, all of these digits here are going to revert to zeros. And we just need to figure out, is 489,334,209, is that closer to 489 million, or is it closer to 490 million? Now, in order to round to the nearest millions place, I'm going to use the hundred thousands place to help me round. So I'm going to use the 3, and since it's 4 or less, I'm going to let it rest at the smaller place value position. So I'll round down to 489 million. Make sure that your commas are really clear, that they're commas and not decimal points. Okay, number 3, I'm going to round 324,650 to the nearest thousands place. And in order to round to the nearest thousands place, I need to use my hundreds place to help me do that. So I'm going to round either down to 324,000 or round up to 325,000. All of these digits revert to zeros when you round. And it's important to know what my midpoint, the exact middle in between 324,000 and 325,000, is 324,500. So that's why this digit here is important. If it's 5 or more, we go up a floor because it's closer to 325,000. So for this one, we round up. Number 4. Now this one is not a whole number. I've got a decimal point here. 32 and 73 thousandths. I have a 0 in my thousandths place, I have a 0 in my tenths place, and I have a 7 in my hundredths place. So I need to use the digit in my hundredths place to help me round. I'm either going to round down to 32 and no tenths, or I'm going to round up to 32 and 1/10. My midpoint exactly in between these two locations is 32 and 5/10. So since my 7 is 5 or above, 5 or more go up a floor. So I'm going to round up to 32.1. 32 and 1/10. Number 5, name 2 different numbers that round to 30 when rounded to the nearest 10. So if you picture your number line, here's 30 and here's 40. You can either round up to 40 or round down to 30. What's the midpoint in between 30 and 40? Once you know that, you should be able to select at least 2 numbers that when you round down, you would round down to 30. So you're trying to figure out at least 2 numbers that are in between 30 and the midpoint. Number 6, we have to read this little story about products that Italy is making and shipping out of the country. It says, in the year 2000, Italy produced this number, tons of wheat. I want you to look at that number without me reading it just for a second. This is how many tons of wheat Italy produced. Can you read that number without me reading it to you? If you can't, I want you to go get a place value chart. Okay, so here's our place value chart. I'm going to put my decimal point where it goes. And then fill in my digits. 0, 0, 0. 4 groups of 10,000. No, 4 groups of, oops. Okay, 4 groups of 1,000. I'm making a mistake. 4 groups of 1,000. 6 groups of 10,000. 4 groups of 100,000. 7 groups of 1,000,000. Okay, so we've got 7 million. Remember what place value word you need to say. When you see the comma, you say the place value word. 7,464,000 and 55 hundredths. So that is quite a bit of wheat that Italy made. And Pakistan produced this amount of wheat, this many tons of wheat. Can you read that number without me reading it to you? If you can't, you need to put it in the place value chart so you know how to read this number. So Pakistan produced 21,079,029 hundredths tons of wheat. And now the instructions tell us to round each country's wheat production in tons to the nearest 100,000. So we're going to round both of these to the nearest 100,000, which is this digit here. And in order to do that, we're going to use the digit in the 10,000s place to help us round. All of these digits that come after the 100,000s place are going to revert to zeros. 0, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. Well, that's a decimal point. 0, 0. Okay? Decimal point. So your job is to round both of these numbers to the nearest 100,000s place and fill it in the blank spots for number 6 and number 7. I'm not going to tell you exactly how to do that one. I want to see if you can do it on your own. Okay, for numbers 8 and 9, We're talking about wheat again. Wheat must be the exciting topic of the day in math class. It says the price of wheat in 1997, holy cow, that was a while ago. The price of wheat in 1997 was $3.38 per bushel. I don't know if you guys know what a bushel is. It's kind of like a basket of something that's about this big. This is a bushel. Okay, and then it says that in 1998, the price was $2.65 per bushel. So the price went down. That's never good. Round the price per bushel of wheat for each year to the nearest tenth of a dollar. Let's think about this for a second. Even if you don't know, if let's say you can't remember where the tenths place is right at this very moment, I bet you know what a tenth of a dollar is. It's a dime. We're going to round to the nearest tenth or dime amount. And in order to round to the nearest tenth, we need to use the digit in the hundredths place to help us do that. Remember, 5 or more, go up a floor. 4 or less, let it rest. You guys do that on your own and fill in your answers for number 8 and number 9. Number 10. All right, we're rocking and rolling. Stay with me, guys. Which decimal rounds to 155 when rounded to the nearest whole number? Is it A, 150 and 50 hundredths? Is it B, 155 and 79 hundredths? Is it C, 154 and 44 hundredths? Or is it D, 154 and 53 hundredths? So I think when you're looking at this, we are rounding to the nearest whole number. So for this, we need to look at our ones place. Which one of these can we eliminate immediately because it's kind of silly? We're trying to round to 155. So I think we can get rid of A right away. 150 is not going to round to 155 no matter what digit is in the tenths place. And there's another answer choice that we can eliminate, because if we already have 155, we can't round. Well, yes, we could round to 155 because we could let it stay at 155. My bad. All right, so for B, we're choosing between, let's see, how do I want to do this? Okay, for B, we're choosing between 155 or 156. The midpoint in between these two locations is 155 and 5/10. And I can see here in my hundredths place, or in my tenths place, I have a 7. So 5 or more, go up a floor. For this one, I would round up to 156. So I can eliminate choice B for that reason as well. That leaves me choosing between C or D. I'm rounding either down to 154 or up to 155, and I'll let you try to figure that out. Which do you think it is, C or D? Last but not least, writing to explain. I want you to write a definition of rounding in your own words. I want you to pretend that Miss Lynn doesn't know anything about how to round, and I want you to teach me how to do it. Now I'm going to give you some sentence starters to help you. You guys use these sentence starters and then fill in the blanks with your own ideas about rounding. Okay, so here's 3 different sentence starters that you can choose from. When you are rounding, you need to fill in the blank. It's important to fill in the blank. Rounding is when you fill in the blank. So I'm excited to see your ideas here. You can use my sentence starters, or you can write your own complete sentences. If you do not write in a complete sentence, I am not going to give you credit for it. And if you copy something that is in your math book or copy something that is on the internet, I'm not going to give you credit. All right, so good luck, have fun with it, and let me know if I can do anything for you.